Mission Jupiter there off their new album Aftermath and a track called Revelation. And I'll tell you what was a revelation was when I chatted to David and Olya of the band Voice of Glass. I'll tell you what, it was a bit of a revelation because
he wants to be on the show so badly.
A certain gentleman, or should I say a cross husky called Conan, insisted on trying to get onto the show, and we had a load of laughs. It's the first time I've actually had to deal with a husky on the show, but nevertheless, as they are, what do you call them? Blah, 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 blah. Well, as they live on icebergs and love ice, I guess that's why he wanted to be on the show. But anyway, enough of my idiotic jabbering. Let's listen to some Voice of Glass, and then we'll be hearing from David and Olya.
But yeah, this is David, my husband. I'm Olya. We are a duo, Voice of Glass. We did start as a 4-piece band, and we were a 4-piece band all the way up to 2011. Then we took a hiatus for 10 years. And when we came back, it was just us. But we've always been the core of Voice of Glass. We've always, we write the music together. David writes the music. I do the vocal arrangements. He does the lyrics. Sometimes I do the lyrics too, mostly contribution. So in a way, we've always been the heart of Voice of Glass, and the lineup has changed through the years. We've changed drummers, bass players. It turns out it's hard to find people who can commit full-time to what you're doing. Currently, we work mostly with a hired gun studio musicians. Some we work more often with than others. It seems to be working for us. We're, of course, at the point where we would love to have full-time members. But we do live in a city where most people just, unfortunately, we live in Las Vegas, which I didn't mention yet. A lot of people here prefer to play, of course, obviously for money. Everybody wants to make money. That's normal. But a lot of people want to be part of a band that does covers and tributes. So it is a little bit hard to be a band that makes original music, and especially such a niche music like ours, which is mostly on the progressive gothic side in America, where most people listen to slightly different styles of rock. So that's why it is easier for us to do what we're doing right now, work mostly with studio musicians. And that indeed makes it a little bit hard for us when we would like to do live shows, but of course
there's not a scene for it in Las Vegas,
yes.
Especially for original music.
Yes.
And we don't have a desire to be a cover band at this point.
And the other thing about the technology nowadays, and everything's digital. There's YouTube. You can do a live concert online, and you have thousands of people watching you. Or you can haul all of your, equipment and everything and go through the whole thing and setting up and sound check and everything, which you always have to do anyways. But then you can play in front of between 10 and 300 people. Depends on where you play. While again, when you do something and you put it out there online, you can reach thousands of people. And I feel like this is great for bands. From the other hand, we did do tours in 2007 and 2008. We did go tour in Bulgaria and tour in the United States. And we did play a lot of live shows. And of course, nothing beats playing live shows. That's just amazing. The energy you get from the crowd, their love for your music, even though they're hearing it a lot of times for the first time. And of course, this is an experience that cannot be replaced by anything. But currently at this stage of time, we are mostly a band that focuses on releases. And as of now, we're not really doing any live shows because of the way the situation is here with us. But hopefully in the future, we'll be able to do something about it.
We ended up settling in Chicago for a little bit, and we recorded an album there, and we were supposed to have a record label that was going to be working with us, but then something that fell through, the label went under before they could release our stuff. And then that was when we were like, well, we have an album, we don't have any way to promote it. We were expecting a lot of things, and it just was like life was just compounding on us and everything. And we were like, you know what, we need to take a break. And then I went back to Hawaii. We moved back to Hawaii. I went back to school. You know, I do physical therapy now. That's my full-time job. You know, that helps. You know, I had a career that could, you know, we didn't have any money before. Now, I mean, at least now, and then we didn't expect to be playing music, but then it just so happened that music came back to us. You know, we were just working out at a gym here, and we met this guy who was a drummer, and he wrote lyrics, and he wanted someone to write music for his lyrics. So we wrote music for his songs, and he recorded them, and then under a different project. And through that, we made friends with the owner of the studio we recorded at. And then we were going to do an acoustic project, just me and with this Ola and I were like, hey, let's just record some of our songs since we're friends with the studio. We're here. And then we just started recording, and then just one thing led to another. And then we started writing all this new music and all these new ideas, and it kept growing and growing and growing until, you know, the past few years we've been releasing new songs on our own. And, you know, she's been making videos. And then recently we signed with a record label with a label from Sweden. So we just had our first release, was the last song, Hypnosis, was through them. And yeah, and so things just keep developing, growing. We met you. I mean, you contacted us, through one of our songs at I think Shadow of a Dream last year. Yeah, and so we're excited. We don't know what's going to happen, but it's just, we had kind of given up on, music. It had been like almost 10 years. I had sold my guitar. I sold it, you know, and now we're, you know, but it came back. I guess it was, you know, we just feel like it was meant to be, that we're supposed to make music, and that we have chemistry between the two of us, and we have something to say through our music, you know, and here we are, you know, and we're, you know, excited to see what happens. I'm from Hawaii originally. Wasn't much of a metal and rock scene in Hawaii when I was growing up. When I was learning to play guitar, I moved to Bulgaria when I was 20 years old. I was working with an organization, like a missionary type of organization. And, you know, I met her brother. They spoke really good English, and because of our love for rock and metal music, we became really good friends, and we started just jamming in their garage. And, you know, we started writing songs, making music, and next thing we knew, we got invited to play like at a festival in the center of the town, and we were like, people like our music. And then, you know, and we started, you know, recording music. We had songs. This was way back in 2005, 2006. You know, we made some videos. We had songs in Bulgaria, songs that were like in the charts in the Bulgarian, you know, music. And we were on TV and on interviews and stuff like that and everything, you know. So, but you know, the music was going good. We decided to come to America. We did, like she said, a couple tours in America, 2007, 2008. I mean, this was all on our own. Like in her town in Bulgaria, I organized everything. I found online every single club and things I could find, and sent out hundreds, maybe even thousands of emails to different places. And like I was able to book shows and things, and we organized, you know, something that we could come and we could go from town to city and just keep playing shows. We did that for a couple of years, just grinding. We bought a van, we had a trailer, and we just were grinding, you know, and it was fun. We were in our 20s, you know, and we could do that. We could sleep in a van in Walmart parking lots or whatever, and just play music all the time.
I did take vocal lessons, extensive vocal lessons for I think 6 months or something like that. And my vocal coach, I was still very young, 21, 22. My vocal coach, she did train me in rock, opera, and gospel, like soul, right? Also, I was raised with a lot of opera in my house. My mother, who is European, she's Ukrainian and lives in Bulgaria. She did play a lot of opera in our house. So from very young age, I grew up with a lot of the arias, and I was told that I'm a mezzo soprano. Then my vocal coach, then somebody told me, "Oh no, you're alto." And then my vocal coach, when she did my register, my range, she tested my range. She was like, "Oh no," it was like, "You're a dramatic soprano." I was like, "Whoa, Maria Callas is a dramatic soprano, like probably the most famous dramatic soprano." But yeah, opera is something that I really love, and as I mentioned, a lot of bands that I liked. When I was young, and I still like, they did opera vocals, like obviously Tristania comes to mind, Nightwish. A lot of those bands, or like Sarah Jessica Diva, she was in Covenant. So those are my influences too.
Yeah. Well, we're looking, hope maybe more now for like maybe an EP at the end of the year. But there was a lot of technical issues with a lot of his communication, especially with the studio we're working with. And then, it just, things happen. So we had a bunch of deadlines. We had everything planned, but we missed a lot of deadlines in production and stuff. So now we kind of had to change our strategy for this year. And so we have we released the one single in May, Hypnosis. We have another single. It's already distributed, and it's going to be released on August 8th. And then we may have one more single coming out probably in September or October. And then at the end of the year, the idea with the label is then to release like an EP with some of the songs already released and then unreleased songs that we haven't released yet and everything. And so it's just, it happens sometimes. And
that's the way it is. I'm going to have to cut that whole interview short, but you will be able to catch the whole interview on my YouTube channel, plus the famous pop quiz. And I promise I'll be posting that on the From the Iceberg YouTube channel in the next couple of days. And big shout out there to Olya and David for a wonderful conversation. We talked about a lot of things, and
he wants to be on the show so badly.
And you'll also get to see and meet Conan, the infamous husky who kept on interrupting us. Bless him, he was quite a vibrant little chap.